International. Leave the ball rolling with the headlines. Here's Gladys Ambon.
In a major crackdown on counterfeit currency, the Douala 2nd Gendarmerie Legion has seized nearly 100 million fraudulent banknotes. Key distributor. A chieftaincy crisis in Manyemen, a village along the Kumba-Manfe route in Cameroon's southwest region, intensifies officer years since the passing of Chief Eben Jacob, fueling rising tensions over the selection of a new leader. Immediate action to address a new border dispute with Cameroon. Lawmakers are accusing Cameroon of illegally annexing oil-rich territories in Akwa Ibom and River States. That was a summary of tonight's top stories. Stay tuned for full developments in a moment.
Our sincere appreciations once again for the privilege of your company. And so let's set this edition in Zachariah, as he is known, initially escaped but was tracked down, arrested and presented to the press earlier today. As you tell us, Hyacinth Chia.
Jigodem Kodem Awa brutally killed on July 22nd, and ever since the barbaric act, the supposed murderer, ex-boyfriend, disappeared into thin air. After months of hiding, he is fished out by the elements of the Obala police station following an intensive search.
Murderer was around Engine 1, and due to the instruction of the head of unit, we went there on the day of 16th of March, and we succeeded to catch him. The woman decided to stop the relationship with him because he used to steal, to rob where he worked in College Joseph Stinzy here in Obala. She decided to stop the relationship and he gets angry. That's the reason why he did that.
The firm instructions to crack down the suspect dished out and supervised by the divisional officer of Obala.
I want to use this opportunity, first of all, to give a special thanks to the police for this remarkable job, and also give the confidence to our population to continue to work hand to hand with the administration and the forces of law and order, and to reassure them once more that we are here for them and to assure their protection and their property.
Ce moment, je suis dans les colères très mal. Toute les colères, je ne peux même pas expliquer même.
Presenting the alleged killer to the public, this March 19, 2025, the forces of law and order send a strong message to other hiding criminals.
The only message for criminals is to change their activities, because police forces are determined. We are push them out of Obala, because Obala is not a place safe for those who committed crime offenses.
The population keep wondering on the love story that became sour to an extent of butchering the partner. The young suspect remained in custody to answer for his crime.
Brow-raising story as gendarmes in Cameroon's commercial hub Douala seize nearly 100 million CFA francs worth of counterfeited banknotes that were set for injection into the national economy. Government agents called for vigilance.
Approximately 100 million counterfeit banknotes intended to be smuggled into the economy have been confiscated by the Douala 2nd Legion Gendarmerie. Peter Gosogwe Clément, who reportedly admitted his involvement, was arrested after the counterfeit money, packaged in black plastic, was discovered stored on the roof of his house. A search at his residence from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. allowed us to discover a significant amount of counterfeit banknotes, approximately 100 million francs CFA and 72 million in denominations from the Central Bank of West African states. The investigation, prompted by rumors, began on highlighting the dangers posed by such vigilance. To the population, we recommend a household responsible for exchanging large sums of money. This is how counterfeit banknotes infiltrate the market. If you count the money without verifying the quality of the notes, you risk falling into that trap. With the dismantling of this network, the gendarmerie has reaffirmed its commitment to protecting the public and maintaining financial integrity.
Got you to the southwest region and precisely to Manyemen, where a chieftaincy crisis continues escalating, successor by local administrative authorities, and insist that the choice belongs to them according to local traditional norms. Here's Ndi Morin.
Sons and daughters of Manyemen, a roadside village along the Kumba-Mamfe Road, Ngoti subdivision of the southwest region, are expressing rage and anger over the manner in which the senior divisional officer, SD of Mbangem, Mungambo Ikema William, is transforming their chieftaincy process into a political affair. The Manyemen throne has been void for some 2 years now, following the disappearance of the late ruler, Chief Eben Jacob. After the first consultative talks, which took place in Bangem in 2023, Ikema William appointed a certain William Bisong as chief, while disqualifying the kingmakers of the clan.
That boy not be jet, he not be even Manyemen.
The process was later contested, with the kingmaker saying never in history has a chief been selected out of his native soil. Besides, Williams Bisong is a stranger and thus cannot be chief. The kingmakers decried the fact that Williams Bisong is using money to bribe his way to the throne.
But we know say now two family they get for fight dumb and jet.
When we have a constituted list of kingmakers, that family sat, wrote minutes and submitted to the Dio of Guti. To our greatest dismay, today he came with his own lists, refused using the list of the Dio of Guti, and they were even quarreling on the table.
The ASIO backtracked, cancelling the first prefectural order he signed, designating William Bisong as chief. Inhabitants say he instructed the divisional officer of Nguti to hold a fresh consultative talks on December 12, 2024. The said meeting ended with the people of Manyemen choosing Hope Sona Ebai, board chair of the Cameroon Development Corporation, as their chief. Seemingly caught in corruption and the influence of brown envelopes, the ASIO Bangem held another consultative talks on Tuesday, March 17, and repronounced William Bisong as chief.
Why did I do it? Because of my humility. I knew that if I did something wrong, they'll correct it. I sent it back to your due. He came back. The DO did what it will do. Hierarchy says it is not enough. My hierarchy, not me.
The Manyemen people have rejected this. In stern atmosphere, they voiced out their indignation, saying they cannot watch a civil administrator impose a chief who is not a native on them. They are calling on the powers that be to call the SDU to order. But the senior divisional officer maintains he was acting online with law and in accordance with the provisions given by the family heads of the village.
D. Maureen reporting there. Meanwhile, the Cameroon Teachers Organization, abridged COREC in French, has issued an ultimatum to the government, threatening a countrywide strike next month if their demands, including a special status as well as better working conditions for them, the teachers, are not met. In a press statement earlier today, they outlined other pressing issues facing the education sector in Cameroon. Ate Bonaventure has more.
The government's solemn commitment of December 2, 2016 to organize a national education forum in 2017 remains unfulfilled. The Teachers Organization of Cameroon sees the non-fulfillment of this promise and the non-implementation of other suggested reforms as a slap in the face of the educational community.
We will no longer allow the government to procrastinate and postpone this deadline indefinitely. We will demand a precise schedule and guarantee for the implementation of the recommendations that will emerge from it.
The demands of the trade unionists include special status for teachers, regularization of all staff working in public schools, immediate payment of allowances due to examiners, and the valorization of working conditions for private teachers.
We will no longer allow our profession to be devalued and disrespected. We want a status that reflects the importance of our role in our society. A status that allows us to live decently from our profession and to dedicate ourselves fully in our mission.
The correct officials promise to match words with actions should their plea fall on deaf ears.
Correct is prepared to use all legal means conferred upon it by law, by mobilization, demonstration, strikes, examination boycotts, to achieve its demands. So we pray on government to collaborate with us.
The teachers' organization remains open to constructive and sincere dialogue with the state, but however emphasizes that no further promises will be considered progress until further action is taken.
We're running up close to 30 minutes after 6 p.m. Cameroon time. You're watching the news, the 6:15 p.m. edition on Canal, the international community, live from Douala. Now, Nigeria's Senate has demanded immediate government action to protect the country's territorial waters after accusing Cameroon of illegally annexing parts of its territories in Akwa Ibom and Rivers states. The lawmakers say over 2,500 oil wells are at stake and are urging President Tinubu to act and act fast. Yes, Gladys Sambon-Dibang.
In a move to address ongoing territorial disputes, the Nigerian Senate says it has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the alleged annexation of Nigerian territories by the Republic of Cameroon. The committee was formed after a Nigerian senator, Anaikan Basi, drew the attention of the House to what he described as the illegal occupation of mangrove islands and waters in Akwa Ibom State by Cameroon. He emphasized the economic impact of this encroachment, which he said had resulted in the loss of over 2,500 oil wells and significant gas revenues that should belong to Nigeria. The Nigerian Senate is following up the matter with a call for President Bola Tinubu to take immediate action to secure Nigeria's territorial waters and protect its resources. The ad hoc committee has been tasked with reporting back in 4 weeks. This fresh accusation of Cameroon by Nigeria comes despite previous international agreements, including the 2002 International Court of Justice ruling. The Senate is calling for diplomatic efforts to resolve the issue and prevent further economic loss.
And from the border with Nigeria to Loum in the Mungo division of Cameroon's littoral region, where frustration is steadily rising amongst inhabitants as ongoing construction works leave many roads impassable. While the authorities insist that the roads are vital for development, the local inhabitants say the works are rendering their lives almost nightmarish with everything disrupted. Gladys Sambo once again.
Anger is growing amongst residents in Loum in the Mungo division of Cameroon as road construction between the Loum Town Hall and the Tombe roundabout drags on. For many, the situation has become unbearable.
They closed the passage. Even to get water, it's not easy. People are falling. Mothers are falling. We suffer so much.
In Maningwase, the frustration is equally palpable. Broken water pipes, stalled business activities, and the inability to move freely have left the community on edge.
It is impossible to move around in the neighborhood. Our road is impassable. They have to leave us a little passage. Really, I fell into a gutter, and since then, there's not even a way to walk. Even the stones are a nuisance.
Despite the complaints, authorities remain firm in their stance. The mayor of Loum acknowledges the inconvenience but insists it is part of the process.
We don't build roads without distractions. The most important thing here is the development we are bringing. The inconveniences are temporary. People can't complain. The priority is the work we are doing.
Residents are demanding more transparency. Many claimed they were not adequately informed about the timeline or extent of the disruptions.
We, the population of Loum, wants to know the duration of the work because we no longer know how to feed our families.
Authorities argue that they have done enough to raise awareness. The construction project, covering just 1 kilometer, involves road maintenance and the tracing of gutters.
And now the strides being made by Cameroonian women in leadership roles continue to draw attention from beyond the country's borders. Queen Clarice Bell of the Bell Canton in Douala has been conferred the Woman Leader of the Year award by the presidential couple in next-door Central African Republic, as you tell us, Sherif Asali.
Few days after the International Women's Day, a new distinction has been awarded to recognize the excellence of Cameroonian women. The Central African Republic has celebrated the impact of female entrepreneurs with special recognition given to the Queen Clarice Douala Bell. This iconic figure of female leadership was honored for her dedication and influence in the entrepreneurial sector. Her return to Cameroon was met with great enthusiasm as numerous women gathered to celebrate an award that extends beyond the Queen herself, serving as a tribute to all women in the country. Traditional authorities of the Bell Canton in Douala held the distinction, describing it as a victory for traditional diplomacy between Cameroon and the Central African Republic. This award further strengthens the cultural and historical ties between the two nations. This recognition highlights the growing acknowledgement of women's vital role in Africa's economic and social development.
And now the Cameroon versus Eswatini game is 75 minutes old. Remember, it is part of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Cameroon 0, Eswatini 0 as we speak. We'll give you the full results and, of course, the rather chaotic circumstances that surrounded that encounter. Thanks once again for having kept us company all this while. All our apologies for the slight technical hitches in this installment. Stay safe. See you same place, same time tomorrow.